Hey guys, I hope you had a really nice new year. Let me close this. I just needed to film just something real quick so I have something to upload on Saturday. The holidays and all that is already crazy enough. On the 28th of December, which I know I already uploaded a video then, but I filmed them ahead of time. And it just was crazy. But 28th of December, my grandmother passed away, and so we went to Tennessee for a few days. It was really last minute and it was really sad, but you know, it's just life, it's what happens, and it's okay, I'm okay. And this coming week, I'm leaving tomorrow morning at 2 a.m. I have to wake up, and I think we're leaving like 3:30 in the morning, and we are, not we, just me, I'm in my friend's wedding. And I am a bridesmaid and I'm very excited about it, but that's to say I can't exactly film a video. The wedding is Friday, and then Saturday I'm going home, but I won't be home at all to film that day, if that makes any sense. I thought maybe I could talk a little bit before I really have to go finish packing, but I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about my nose ring and what's been going on with it, and like some misconceptions about nose rings that I have discovered. So I don't know if you noticed, but I actually changed it to a hoop. It's not a full hoop, it's like a half hoop, or like whatever it's called, but it's not actually attached. I wanted to talk to you about some things that you need to look for when you are going to get a nose ring, and some things that people tell you that are not true, misconceptions, all that kind of thing. And this is just from what I've experienced and learned so far. I went with my cousin when I got my nose ring. We went together like while I was there around November. I'm sure you remember, well, probably not, but I uploaded a video and talked about how I had gotten my nose pierced, and I was super excited. So a lot of people tell you, like, you know, you have to wait like 6 months or whatever to change it. And some people will say 4 weeks, some people will say 6 months. I was impatient because I really wanted to change it to a gold hoop before this wedding that I'm in, because our jewelry is gold and I just thought it would look prettier. So I wanted to change it to this, and basically I went to the shop, and I'll tell you about the shop a little bit too later, because like we shouldn't have gone there, and I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't need to like sabotage them or anything, but we probably should have gone somewhere else, honestly. But anyway, so we went to the shop, and the guy who was selling the rings was not very knowledgeable on nose rings, like at all. So I showed him my nose and I was like, you know, my ring doesn't really hurt. And I was asking him, like, do you think I could change it to a hoop? And he was like, basically he told me I probably could change it if it didn't hurt, and if it wasn't still tender, and like it didn't hurt. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna change it then. So I did it when I got home instead of waiting a few more days. And I have been having lots of issues since then. Even though people say you should wait till it's just not tender, you probably should wait even longer, because I didn't feel it at all when I changed it. But the next day I was having like severe pain, and I have since then. I think I changed it like, I want to say like, it's been like 4 or 5 days now since I've changed it. And like, I don't know if you can tell, it's still super, super irritated. And it's red, and it got a keloid like almost right away. And so since this was happening, I called my, like, a different tattoo parlor here where I live, and I talked to them, and I was like, told them what was going on. I said my nose keeps bleeding, it's really painful, and I, like, you know, I told him I just changed it, it's been 5 weeks, I should be able to change it. And he said no. Basically, what he told me was, number one, they gave me a ring that was smaller than my gauge. So when you change it and it's not 100% completely healed, meaning like you waited like four months until it was 100% healed. If it isn't completely healed and you put in a gauge smaller than what you got, then what happens is your nose starts producing this like clear liquid, and it's like trying to close up what's like the remaining around the hole. And this is small, I think a gauge or two smaller than I had. And he said since they gave me one that was smaller, like I probably would have healed fine if the nose ring was the same gauge, but they gave me a smaller one. And so my nose ring is, one, getting stuck. I wasn't able to rotate it. Two, it just is really painful and tender. And I'm having issues with that, you know, that clear liquid coming out, which I don't know the name of it. And it's like bleeding and I'm getting keloids. And I was like, well, I can't rotate it, I can't move it. And he said, okay, well, yeah, you're not supposed to move it. Basically what he told me was when it gets stuck like that, you're not supposed to touch it. Like when you get a hoop, do not touch it. And the people at the place who did my nose ring didn't say that. Like they did not give us any warning about that sort of thing. When I bought my hoop, he didn't tell me anything about it. And I, you know, of course I should have looked it up and stuff, but everyone says like, oh, like you need to rotate it this many times and blah, blah, blah. Don't listen to them. Don't touch it. Like just leave it alone. And the only time you should be moving the nose ring is if you are cleaning it. So that was like misconception, one of the misconceptions that I had no idea. I thought I was supposed to move it all the time to make sure it didn't get stuck. But it was getting stuck, but the only reason for that is because it was healing. And you don't want to move it, because if I were to move my nose ring in when that pus and whatever is still on there, I'm putting that back into the wound. So that'll cause infection. You don't do that. The other thing was when you go to get your nose pierced, number one thing that I had already heard and I knew was make sure they're using a clean needle. So the lady who did ours, she did use a clean needle, but one thing I didn't realize that she didn't do, when I watched her do my cousin's, it didn't occur to me that she wasn't using a tube. So basically, normally if you go get your nose pierced, they put a tube in one end and they pierce with the other end. When you do the tube in there, it makes sure that the piercing goes the way it's supposed to. So like my cousin, she flinched and her nose ring comes out like all the way up here by the tip of her nose. It's not in correctly, and it's because this lady didn't use a tube when she pierced it. Just to make sure, like look up what's supposed to happen when you get it pierced and ask them. Make sure with other people before you just go to a place because you're excited to get your nose pierced, because that's what we did, and honestly it was a really stupid thing for us to do. I'm glad because I didn't flinch, so mine is okay, but even if you do flinch, that's not supposed to happen, because they're supposed to have that tube in there to make sure that the needle is going in the right direction. I can't really think of anything else other than make sure you don't put makeup around it, like make sure you're not touching it and playing with the jewelry. Those are all the kinds of things that will give you infections and keloids. So yeah, I hope that was helpful for anyone. I know it wasn't really organized. This was seriously the most last minute video I've ever done in my life. But I'll keep doing updates if you want on like how it's healing and everything. I mean, it looks really good right now. I am nervous because I have to change it for work, because I have to be able to cover it or put in a retainer. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if you guys want another update or more misconceptions about nose rings or anything like that, I'm picking up things as I go, and that's the best way to do it. So I hope you guys had a fabulous New Year's, as I think I said in the last video, because I'm pretty sure the last video was uploaded on New Year's Eve. But yeah, I hope you had a really great New Year's. I hope you had an awesome holiday, and God bless. I'll see you peeps later. Bye.